Thursday, July 18th, I believe. Trying to put my phone down somewhere so that I could show you guys what's going on. I just did an entire live broadcast. If you guys know my One Heather GEE, that when you spell out the letter one, ONE account, where I was doing live FTRs, I call them for the records, of me every single day, sitting out in public with people passing by, explaining the fact that I have been violated in a number of ways, including sexual assault, unlawful detainment, being bludgeoned with a tire iron, being jumped and stabbed by 3 women with screwdrivers. All of this since June of 2019. So it's been 5 years. It's been a little over 5 years. I said on my previous live that it was just under 5 years. It's actually been 5 years. I just want to show everyone that I am still lactating. I am pumping breast milk for my 5-month-old son, Weston, who didn't even exist when all of this began in 2019. In 2019, I was living in my own home, the primary custodial parent for my 3 children, my 10-year-old, my 16 and 17-year-old. They are now. At that time, they were 6, 13, and 14. They've lived with me primarily their entire lives. In 2020, 2019 was the first attack. Then my apartment began being flooded. My belongings began being stolen. My vehicle was stolen, a Cadillac CTS that I paid for in full through an auto loan process with Capital One. No scamming, none at all. Every dollar that I made was through working. Every dollar that I made was through working. I was not scamming in any way, shape, or form. Every dollar I made was through working. I am not a scam artist. I am not a con artist. I have never been. If you've seen me around them, it's because they have forced me. Law enforcement has put me in a position to be around those people for their own benefit. Please hear me clearly. I don't know how to scam. I don't know the PayPal scams. I just know that they exist. I feel like I'm repeatedly being punished because they want me to divulge more information than I can. I don't know. I don't know how they do what they do. I don't know. If you ask me who's done it, I don't know that either. What do you want me to say? A bunch of guys who could be faking a Nigerian accent, or maybe it's real, with sunglasses on and black skin? Like, how is that going to be helpful to you in any way? You know, I'm tired of providing this information to them, being forced with their foot on my neck to provide this information to them. And then it's like, I can't possibly give enough. They've taken everything I have, and I cannot possibly give enough. I was threatened by this cop. This cop, David Shepard, detective, in 2016 told me, if you do not continue to hang out with this group of people and call and text me every single day, I will be back and I will take your children from you. I have no criminal record, none. I reported it. It went to internal affairs. I won the case in 2017. He was supposed to stop harassing me. They were supposed to send another officer. They had a line into my phone. They still do, I'm sure. On a recorded line, I was coerced, forced into sex work. I'm a healthcare administrative professional. That's what I do. I have an education. I worked for 10 years in various healthcare fields. All of a sudden, I find myself literally being threatened to be separated from my children or go on dates with men, including detectives and members of law enforcement. They call it fucking up, meaning there are times that people set up the people underneath them who are like lower in life than they are, less money, less class, less socioeconomic status. And then there are times when they fuck up, when people from higher up help the people who are getting fucked start fucking back. And that's the position they put me in, with no criminal record at all whatsoever. When they say kill people, they mean trick on them, set them up, and get power and control over them for information that they know about them. They don't mean put a gun to their head and kill them. They mean, well, sometimes they might, but that's not the context most of the time. Xavier and I I met Xavier only 2 years ago after 2 years of being outside homeless, raped, robbed, beaten, and abused. It's like I get 3 months of peace, and then all of a sudden, and I use the term peace very, 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 very generously, because during those 3 months of living indoors, I have been psychologically manipulated, baited, antagonized. Someone from the apartment next to mine when I lived at Montclair would say to me, "Do you ever want to see your family again? I've got them all in an apartment on the 6th floor. Go up there and try to see which apartment it is. And then if you bust down 6 of me and 6 of my friends, maybe I'll let you see your family again." This is real, and I've reported this to law enforcement a number of times. I have been forced to walk around outside for 2-3 days at a time with nowhere to go, so that I could collapse to the ground in exhaustion and be raped. I've reported this to law enforcement. No one has helped me. There used to only be 3 children. Now there are 4. Weston was born in 2024, February of this year, following over a year of me being displaced from my home, calling for assistance regularly, calling the police all the time, giving them information on what was going on and where and why and with who, begging for assistance and being blatantly denied, which is my right in this country. Housing is a right in this country. Assistance is a right in this country. The freedom to live in a space where you are not tortured, slandered, libeled, harassed, and stalked. Those are rights in this country, the United States of America. Those are my rights as a human being. Then Xavier got me pregnant in 2022 with twins. They passed away at 18 weeks. I lost my job at Getir. I was paying for our Airbnb. Every single time that something takes place, they just throw us into the street like trash. Just throw us right into the street like trash. I am not offering free, what's the word I'm looking for? Surveillance. They might be taking it from me, though, which would be human trafficking under the United States Constitution. I've taken some entry-level AI classes with regards to deepfakes and deepfake technology, Photoshop, and Photoshop is really like the 1999 version of what's going on today, with green screens and the ability to change the surroundings and the way a person looks and sounds, etc., and so forth. I have 4 children now. Weston was born in February. My entire pregnancy, I was calling for assistance through 311, through the police station, through the hospital systems. I was being provided no assistance. We got into shelter only after I gave birth to Weston, and we were promised that we would spend 6 months in the shelter system, and then from there, we would be given a townhome or an apartment. After 4 months, we were told the shelter was closing its doors and thrown outdoors, but the shelter is still open. We're only a few blocks away from the shelter we had to leave. So we have absolutely no reason to be outside. There's no legal reason. On top of that, they've disabled my Cash App account so that I cannot receive donations. I am a lactating mother of 4 children. 4 children. I have been named by the court system in the United States of America as the primary custodial parent of my older 3 children. Custody has yet to be determined of my younger son, Weston. I should be. I have parental rights in the United States of America. I've done nothing to deserve to not have access to parental rights in this country. Yet for some reason, here we are. Until now, transportation has been provided. Every single week, we go to see our son 3 times a week for 2 hours, Wednesday, 2 hours, Thursday, 2 hours, Friday. And then we come back and I sit in my room like a nun. I go to sleep by 8 or 9 p.m. I don't go out. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't drug. I talk to my children, and that's it. And I mind my own business. I scheduled an appointment for a physical with my primary care physician for last Saturday. Tuesday, 4 days before the appointment, they put us out into the street. Have you ever gone to your doctor to have a pap smear after sitting outside in the street for a week with no shower? What about conveniently being taken, your transportation being taken away right before you have a physical scheduled. Convenient for them, right? Every week, they're mandated by the court to provide this transportation to us. There is a court order that says they must provide the transportation. Yet here we are. Here we are. Do you know what happens if the court orders me to take a drug test and I refuse? Yet these people are blatantly permitted to engage in torturous behaviors against a mother and many others. And I said this on my last live. There are not a bunch of Heathers walking around homeless in the street. There's none. I've never met a woman who is a mother of 4 children with custody from a court walking around with no housing assistance or shelter assistance. I've never met one. Yet I have open tickets through 311 as I have my entire pregnancy. And still no one has assisted in any way. No one. This shelter said that they tried to offer Xavier and I, or tried to get Xavier and I into a shelter. I have the email link, and I have all of the calls. We call this supposed shelter, and they tell us, no, this is not a shelter. This is a treatment facility for people with severe addictions. You're not allowed to come and go as you please. There is no curfew. You can't go outside. Once you're in, you're in. And you can't live with your significant other. You can't eat meals with your significant other. You can't speak with your significant other in the common spaces. And you're not allowed to go outside. So you can't even go take a walk to the park. And it's not for you. If you don't have an active addiction, it's not for you. It's a treatment center. And I emailed back and I said, you people are malicious and you're slanderous. I emailed to the people, the city representatives who tried to get us to go there. I said, this is you helping us. This is you helping us. Inventing some sort of disorder that we don't have to try to put us in some sort of lockdown that we don't need. Let me ask you this. When we had the space, the indoor space where we just came from, did we even receive a single reprimand? No, we did not. And they have a write-up system there. So if you do something wrong, you get written up. We were not written up not once. We did not get written up once. Not once. No reprimands. So we follow all the rules. We live life like nuns. We engage with no one negative. We don't do any drugs. We don't drink any alcohol. We follow up with all of our services. 5 straight months of doing every single thing that we're supposed to do. No questions asked. And we're still right here. In the same space we were when I was pregnant with my son, crying, saying, my body is in so much physical pain, I cannot take it anymore. My pelvis feels like it's being ripped open. Please help us. And they looked at us every fucking day, and they ignored us every fucking day. In the United States of America. I need to be indoors. I deserve to be indoors. I deserve to have an income. I'm not here to speak on any other subject than that. I have the education. I have the experience. I have 10 years experience working in healthcare administration. I just woke up in this location a few moments ago. Okay? Pumped my breast milk. Xavier has an abscessed tooth. We spent one night in the hospital, him receiving intravenous antibiotics, IV antibiotics, for a swollen, infected, abscessed tooth that he had on the left side. We spent one night at Northwestern Hospital, and then we had to go. They gave him a referral to Cook County to have the tooth pulled, and he's refusing to go. I can't force him to go, you know? And I also can't force him to do the things that I need him to do. So I'm stuck in the space of, do I run away from Xavier, the father of my child? We have all of our services together, our visits with our son together. Do I run away from him, and then what? Sleep on the ground by myself with no one there to have my back? Or do I stay here and allow his blatant disregard for human perception to continue to skew the way people walking by look at me and their willingness or ability to assist us in any way? if he's willing to sit with piles of old food garbage and I'm begging him not to, and that is enough to instigate him into an argument with me, am I wrong? What do I do? Where do I go? There is no one who's offering us assistance. We've asked. To say that I've asked more than 20,000 people for help would be an understatement. Do you understand me? An understatement. I had 17.2 thousand followers. 17.2 thousand followers on the One Heather GEE page, not the number one. That one is still up. The One Heather GEE page from 2020 when all this started, that one's still up. The number one Heather GEE. You can go check it out. I created a secondary page where I spelled out the name ONE Heather GEE. I spelled it out, One Heather G. And I literally went live every single day saying, please help us. We've been denied shelter assistance. We've called 311. I went live calling 311 from another phone while you guys all watched, showing you all we are being denied assistance. When I call 311, they say, there's a lot of people who need help right now, ma'am. Yeah, there are. Are any of them mothers of 4 children who have been paying taxes in this country since they were 14 years old? I don't think there are. So yes, I do think that my situation and my case should receive priority over that of older single men who have been living outdoors for 10, 15 years, using drugs and alcohol, partying it up, have their social groups out here. 100%, I believe my situation should receive priority over those situation, circumstances, and events. Absolutely, I do. Do I have the capacity to be a good parent? Obviously. You don't need to be Einstein. You can literally see me with my child or engage in conversation with me. Clearly, I'm a phenomenal mother. Clearly. Have I lost my temper in my 17 years of being a mother? Yeah, I have. I'm human, not a robot. Name me one mother in the world who has not lost her temper. Have I ever beaten up or abused my children? Never, not once, ever. Have I spanked my child? Sure. You know, I've swatted at my child when they were 2, 3 years old. Who hasn't? So we continue to go through this redundant cycle of abuse where I prove repeatedly who I am, what matters to me, what is my purpose in life, what laws am I entitled to, where are all of the rest of the women, mothers, who are being thrown into the street unlawfully? Where are all of the rest of women who care about fitness and health and wellness, who have invested into their education? I didn't invest into my education through some sugar daddy or sponsor paying my way. My parents didn't pay for my education. I got it from the mud, literally, on my own. Being abandoned in a third world country at 14 years old, all the way to being a mother, full-time student, enrolled in college, and full-time employee with 3 babies. I should not be right here on this ground right now. I should not be right here. And I don't know what it's going to take to prove that I have been filing with the what is that thing called? What's the district attorney? Not ADA. I've been filing with the district attorney. I've been filing with the Department of Justice. I've been filing with the state's attorneys. I've been filing with the DOJ. Thank you. There is no one, that I have not been filing with local law enforcement. I've been filing with everyone, you guys. I'm not a con artist. I don't do fraud. To be honest, if you really want to know, if someone came up to me right now and said, hey, Heather, the only way that you're going to be able to get out of this situation is if you start engaging in a bunch of fraud. And then I said no, and they said, or we're going to rape you. Can you guys imagine being there? Being in a situation where you're going to be forced to sit on a sidewalk, separated from your family and children and the people you love, or engage in illegal activity and be raped? Can you imagine? And reporting that to law enforcement with proof, with videos, with audio, and them saying, well, that we can't use the audio because deep fake technology. So they're using deepfake technology against me to slander me, the woman being assaulted, thrown into the fucking street, and not allowed housing or shelter. Hi, ma'am. I'm a lactating woman, breastfeeding my son. Here's breast milk. They're throwing me in the street, denying me shelter in this country. Being blatantly denied shelter, being blatantly denied services, and being literally given the ultimatum, we're going to rape you or you're going to do X, Y, and Z. And then even when you do X, Y, and Z, they still rape you and then throw you back outside for the next person to do that to you. United States of America, everyone. 2024. Today's July 18th, 2024. Every single thing that I've documented has been real. I don't lie about any of the things that I've gone through. Xavier and I, try to pass the time by making whatever we can creatively. All of my photo shoots from a GoPro solo production, none of those were created with a budget. Those were created from a space of literal desperation, sitting out in the street, begging people for assistance, being ignored by the masses. 5 years ongoing. 5 years. And every single time they assist us, they promise us that this is it, that this is the last time we'll go through this, and then it's just a matter of time before they just throw us back out into the street. And then they say that it's because they want us to share what we know about what's been going on. If we don't share what we know about what's going on, we don't receive any assistance. If we do share what we know about what's going on, we receive minimal assistance. So, is there really even a choice? I try so hard, you guys, to remain positive at all times. We have been outside since Tuesday, July 9th, and I spent my entire pregnancy. Let me be clear with you. There was not a single day, not one day, not one night that we received housing during my pregnancy. I protected my unborn baby with my body. I was attacked. I was kicked by a man while sleeping. A grown black man, attacked me and kicked me multiple times while I was sleeping. A stranger, for no reason, unprovoked. I fell asleep on the train and I woke up to a woman punching me in my head, unprovoked, a stranger. All of this has been reported to law enforcement. I was jumped and bludgeoned by a man, a Hispanic man, beat up with his fists, kicked while I laid on the ground, blocking my head and face, and then bludgeoned over the head with a tire iron and treated inpatient. And they're using that inpatient hospitalization in court against me today to say that I have some sort of disorder. There's no disorder. I have no disorder. The disorder I have is that I won't sit around being attacked, bludgeoned, raped, beaten, robbed, and abused silently. If that's a disorder, then I guess that's what I've got. Parent capacity? My parent capacity is I'm the best fucking mother in existence ever. Ever. I would literally volunteer one of my arms or legs to be there for my children. I don't care what anyone says. I am an amazing mother. Always have been, always will be. I told one of the workers, I got my certification in babysitting and CPR when I was 12 years old. 12 years old. Through the Quartz Plus in Elmhurst, Illinois. You guys know where Elmhurst is at? Quartz Plus. They have like racquetball, tennis rackets indoor, a bunch of park district style activities. It's very expensive, very bougie. 12 years old. I went from middle income suburbia to third world country Jamaica with no notice overnight. I spent 11 months, 1 year in Jamaica, and then I came back to the United States, and I never was able to resume a normal existence as a child with my family unit. From that moment on, I was fending for myself, in and out of the system. No criminal record to this day. No criminal record. Make that one make sense. No drug abuse, addictions. I mean, have I abused drugs before? Sure I have. I've gotten drunk for 2 days in a row, when I was like 21 or 22 years old. Name a college student that has not. I dare you. You can't. So I'm 37 now, and I have 4 children to take care of. And it is nearly impossible for me to be the mother that I have the capacity to be from this space. And when we discuss laws in this country and human rights in this country, we all have a right to be a parent to our children. All of us do. And there are services called Norman services. And prior to them being called Norman services, they were called something else. There's a bill that's clearly outlined in the United States Constitution that discusses parents cannot be separated from their families or children for issues relating to poverty, i.e. no shelter, no food, no clothing. There are services created to provide those things. The only reason why a child legally can be taken from the parent in this country is if that parent does not have the capacity to take care of their child. If you can say, okay, here, I'm giving you everything you need. You have a house, you have food, you have clothes. Here's your kid. And then you observe, and that parent can't engage for some maybe it's an issue of mental, or maybe it's an issue of psychological, or maybe it's an issue of, physical amputations or something like that. Those would be the only reasons legally in this country, legally, constitutionally, and civilly, that exist to separate mom from child or dad from child. So simple issues in, socioeconomic status or housing displacement or issues, obtaining food or clothing, those are not issues to take a child from a parent. Parents have rights. I have rights. It's been 5 months, and every single service that has been recommended, I have completed. Every single one, with no issue. I have not done anything wrong. I have followed every rule that they have set for us. I have done everything that they have asked for us. Why would they now, after 5 months, be saying that we cannot, or we don't have a pass for you to get on the train after 5 months? So why would they now, after 5 months, be saying, oh, we promised you shelter for 6 months until a townhouse or apartment is provided to your family? Xavier and I watched while all the other people in our immediate area of the shelter received their apartments. Xavier, is it true that we witnessed a whole bunch of single people receive apartments through the shelter that we were just in, Tremont 100 East Chestnut?
Yeah, but I told you that there was incentive to help people who are like schizophrenic on medication.
None of them are.
And I told you how Equitable makes their money.
I didn't ask you that. I asked you, did we or did we not witness all of our neighbors receive apartments?
Mental health person.
They are not. Did we or did we not? The deaf guy who you would always smoke cigarettes with, he has no mental health issues. No, he did not.
Yeah, I heard him talk.
The person, okay, but you're not a doctor. Did he receive apartment?
Yeah, I guess.
You guess, or yes, he did? Did we not?
Yeah, but
okay, so there's no but anything. Every other person, so do we. And I have 4 children. So if I have to sit here and watch while a bunch of random men are placed into homes, apartments, shelters, given rent paid for a year, utilities paid for a year, but I'm sitting here on the fucking sidewalk, make that make sense for me. And that person was an immigrant from Africa? South Africa? I'm pretty sure. I was born here in this country and had my first job at 14 years old, paying on a W-2 from 14 years old. Why am I outside on the sidewalk? So for the record, again, you guys, Xavier was recommended to have his tooth abstracted. We do not have transportation. We are supposed to. It is court ordered, so we're waiting on that to be resolved. My attorney is on vacation this week, but she said that she would reach out to someone regarding everything that's going on with my child. I wish that I could give you guys details of all of the hoops I've had to jump through, but I'm not being permitted to do so. You guys already know the situation because I was live at the time of my labor and delivery. So there are literally tens of thousands of people who are aware of what exactly happened, but I'm not allowed to talk about it on the internet. So if you'd like to DM me, I would love to explain. If you are someone who can advocate for me or a lawyer, obviously it's my human right to discuss my situation, especially with people who would be sponsors or someone who could help me, receive legal assistance. I would love to give details to anyone who can help. I have done nothing wrong. I have done everything right, literally. And I'm not a perfect person. I make mistakes, but by the book, every single step I'm supposed to take, I have taken it. The means of escalation, I've taken all of those. Internal Affairs has been involved in this case. This entire situation has been ongoing for me in my life and my family since 2016. We're in 2024 now. I did not become homeless. I was not forced out of my home and separated from my children until 2020. So my kids lived with me in a full-time capacity from birth until 2020. I have no criminal record. I was blatantly inserted into federal operations, whatever that means, a number of times. My CRM was robbed from me. And to be quite honest with you, I don't even think rich men exist anymore, or women. I don't think they exist. I think that all of them were lured into, by honeypots, into situations of probably something like unethical sexual intercourse that someone was recording during those times. That's what they did to me. And then they, from the girls or the boys, because there's a lot of gay guys that they have do this as well, or had do this as well, they steal their CRMs, which are their email Rolodexes of all of these people's contacts, and they begin either by legally attacking them, so they threaten to arrest them and then ask them for money and extort them, or the bad guys get them, and that's even worse, because then they start what they refer to as walking them like a dog. And if you watch in pop culture, there's a lot of rap music and hip-hop music that talks about walking him like a dog. That's what they mean. They began extorting these men until they ruin their lives, separate them from their families, and get them so mentally disturbed that a lot of these men begin being turned on by this abuse. And that's what they call dominatrix or findom. A lot of those findom, financial dominatrix, a lot of those subcategories, these are normal men. They start out normal men, either single men or men with children and wives, and they make the mistake of being incentivized to go and see an escort or a someone who charges for time. And some of them are not even formally labeled as escorts. Some of them they meet in bars or clubs. They bring them home. They get them fucked up. They engage in some sort of illicit sex that's embarrassing. Sometimes it's same-gendered sex. They take photos, they take video, and they take audio, and then they begin to extort this person. It happens a lot in men who are CEOs, CFOs, operations men, presidents, founders, owners. So a lot of the more powerful men become targets. Men with money, generational wealth, they become targets. And then they literally say that they are walking them like a dog because they will engage in these behaviors. I've never done that. Never have I ever done that. Any time that I took a date or went in to angel someone, as they refer to it, if you know, you know, and protect someone, they send me to protect people. They don't send me to hurt people. My life path is in 11-2. So when I'm killing something, it means that there's something bad that's coming to a stop. At the end of the day, you guys, I want to be with my children. And while all of this deceitfulness and abuse really pulls at my heartstrings and it matters to me, it doesn't matter to me if it has to matter at the expense of my children. I should be in my home with my children, not out here saving a bunch of, I can't even call them bad people because we all make mistakes. The way that they do it, anyone could fall victim to this. I mean, anyone. Like, literally, they'll find a man who has the most wholesome. I watched them do it to a Muslim man. A Muslim man who would be in temple 5 times a day, never had a taste of alcohol, never smoked a drug, never popped a pill. I watched them do it to this man. I watched them with my own eyes. I watched them. He had a special needs son and a wife. And I watched them, oh, you work really hard, you own a business, things are rough for you at home, come on, just hang out with us a little bit. And the man said no, and he said no, and they condition him, and they groom him, and they really lay into him. And if you don't have some solid support, some solid love to have your back on these things, you fall victim to them. You can't help yourself. It's really rough out here. And I watched them do this to this man, and after saying no, it's a beautiful woman, plastic surgery, big butt, big boobs, smells good, so sweet and kind. She's, oh, hi, yeah, oh my God, playing coy. And sooner or later, the man falls victim. And he breaks down and says, okay, I'll go to dinner with you. And dinner becomes a drink, even though he's never drank alcohol before. And a few months later, a drink becomes a blunt. And a few months later, a drink and a blunt become every day drinking and smoking weed. And a year later, the man is taking ecstasy pills in the dance club with a special needs child at home and a wife at home, working full time, missing sleep 3-4 nights. And I saw this happen to not just one person, not just two people, a lot of people, you guys, a lot, hundreds that I personally have witnessed, if not thousands. And I only have 2 eyes. So these guys are in the club, and it benefits everyone in the industry because the club owners, they need to sell money. They need to sell bottles. So they need these people in the club. They need these people popping bottles. They need to encourage and engage in their partying. There is a such thing as responsible partying, I think. But it's very difficult balance when you have a lot of pressure from one side or the other. To find a happy medium is incredibly difficult. Why do I continue to be targeted? I don't know. I can tell you for a fact that with or without the use of deepfake technology, there is AI that exists that can filter content that is malicious in nature. We are at the space in 2024. We are at the space in 2024 where our artificial intelligence has the ability to sense malice intention. Do you understand what I'm telling you? So if there is harassment that is continuing, it is on purpose and intentional. Why would that be? I don't know. I have firsthand witnessed and learned about filtering software that exists, artificial intelligence that can sense intention. That's where we're at in 2024. The self-driving car, generative artificial intelligence, automated artificial intelligence, artificial narrow intelligence. It all exists. It's all existed for probably 30 years. They're just increasing their data sets year after year. They're refining their skills. The more data they get, the more data sets they receive, the better refinement on skill. So I want to go home. I want to be with my children. I'm fucking tired of this shit. How is this ethical, moral, or legal, or any of that? It's not. I have to go potty. I have to dump my breast milk into the street because I don't have any storage system to keep it cold so that my son can drink it. You know the benefits of breast milk? Do you know that our bodies as mothers, when we're pregnant with our children, produce breast milk that is significant because it is customized to the DNA and RNA of our little ones. It is exactly what they need in every way. Better than formula, better than someone else's breast milk. The breast milk that mom produces for child is made by God for that child. For 5 months, I have pumped my breast milk, put it into a refrigerator at the shelter in my bedroom, carried it in a refrigerated bag on the train to Maywood, Illinois, to give it to my son so that he can have a week worth of breast milk. In my visits, I feed him from my breast, and then he has all of the breast milk in individual bags to drink in between visits. This is the first week in his life in 5 months that I have not been able to store breast milk for him. The first week. First week. So we've got all of these successful men and women who engage in these illicit behaviors. They start out being very wholesome men, very innocent, very pure, and then they are taken advantage of. Now, who's the one taking advantage? I mean, look what's going on. You people, you rich people, whether through ignorance or privilege or blatant, malice, have ignored the fact that there's an entire other side of America who is suffering, who don't have enough money for clothing, who have to deal with systemic intervention that's unfair and inhumane at times, and every one of you who's doing business has been so focused on your next sale, I get it, I've been there, that you have not had a moment to realize the pain and suffering that other people are going through. Well, guess what? Those people feel resentful. So those people are in combination with dirty, crooked cops or politicians working together to set you all up so that they can drain you of your assets. Period. Plain and simple. That is what's going on. That's what's going on today. That's what was going on 10 years ago. That is what's going on. In addition to getting it from those people, they are getting it from other places. They are working. This is genuine work. Building lines of credit, working. They're not, these criminals are not sitting around the hood. They're sitting in penthouses, shared workspaces, hotel lobbies, and they are building lines of credit. Why? So that they can get business loans. Why? So that they can cash out on those business loans legally. Legally. Do you hear me? Legally. It's legal. Now everyone's pissed off because all of our money is fucked. The dollar is losing its complete value, whether you believe it is or not. And with the internet and connections, everyone has the capacity to be wealthy unless you are being walked like a dog. Why? Do I have all this knowledge, experience, but I can't make a single fucking dollar? No one finds that weird? No one thinks, oh wow, Heather knows how to build lines of credit. She knows how to engage in all of this. Why doesn't she just go inside? Why would she be sitting outside? It's a good question, right? So clearly, someone or something or some multiple people are preventing me from stabilizing my life. I applied for EIN for my business GoPro Solo in 2018. 2018. I applied for an EIN. Why am I sitting outside? I have no idea. I wish you could tell me. I wish. I worked in upscale entertainment, luxury entertainment from 2017 to 2019. 2017 to 2019. I never, ever sold a service in my life. Ever. Never, not once. Everything I did was by the book. 100% by the book. A lot of you guys know Carlos. He was the manager at Shea as well as Concrete Cowboy. He called me one night and he said I had a platform, and I had a platform on many vids. I was selling sexy content. That was how I was creating the illusion of celebrity so that I could charge more for dates. So I had a platform with content, all solo. I never did pornography in my life, all solo sexy content. And mind you, all of this is when my children live in my home. So I had like a producing space, and then I had my mothering space. My children lived with me full time. They never were a part of any of this. He called me one night and he asked me for my logins. And I said, no, I'm not going to give you my logins. And he said, I will give you my entire Rolodex for the entire city of Chicago if you give me free access to your ManyVids. And I said, okay. And I gave him access. I gave him a guest pass. And he shared with me his entire Rolodex. This man had more connections. I myself had many connections, but my connections were coming from people who were outside of the nightlife. My connections were coming from, people who were CEOs, CFOs, COOs, presidents, vice presidents of banks, Chase Bank, PNC Bank, Northern Trust Bank, Wintrust Bank, hospitals, other types of executives. My Rolodex begins to be compromised after it's combined with his Rolodex. So we have my Rolodex. How can I help you, sir?
You okay?
Not really. No, not really. I'm a lactating mother. I have 4 children, and I've been calling for shelter services for my entire pregnancy. They came and offered us shelter for 4 months, told us that we would be able to receive a house or an apartment within 6 months. and then just kicked us out July 9th with nowhere else to go. So I'm really not okay. If there's any resolution that you know of in this country, I'm a citizen. Not that I think non-citizens should be treated this way. I don't think anyone should be treated this way, but I am a citizen. I do have a college education. I am employable. I have a large following on social media, so I can do influencer work. There's really nothing that I can't do. I'm well-spoken and articulate. I just want to get home to my kids, and the fastest way to do so is by earning an honest employment, an honest living, and making money and getting an apartment or a home. So if there's anything you can do, we pretty much sleep here for the past several days. If there's anything you can think of, any resources you come across, we would be happy to receive those. My name is Heather Gillespie.
All right, nice
Thank you so much. Nice to meet you as well. I appreciate it.
Sounds like I gave
So-
you a steak.
No, that's not him. So, as I was saying, what was I saying? Oh yeah, my Rolodex and this other person's Rolodex combined. So I have the daytime Rolodex, if you will, all of the people who are making money in the game from 9 to 5. That was my Rolodex, and I'm talking probably like 4,000 contacts of people making, 6 figures. His Rolodex was probably triple that size, and it was a mix of people from the 9 to 5 all around the world who come to party in Chicago, who goes to nightclubs and spends $4,000 on a table, those types of people. So those two Rolodexes were combined together, okay? And they hacked my phone and my laptop. I had a MacBook at the time, and they stole every single one of those contacts. Every single one of them. Stolen. I could not make this shit up. So following that, I got jumped and stabbed. So it's like they were like, oh wow, Heather's doing a great job working legally, ethically, morally sound. She's not taking advantage of these people the way that a lot of women do. She's giving them honest service, whether it was like hosting a party at Cuvée. I remember taking some of these men who had never been to a bar or a nightclub in their life and having a group of like 5 beautiful women, beautiful women. They smell good, they're nice, they're fun, and myself, and we all, our hair's done, our nails are done to the 9, and we're pulling up in, like a tinted out Suburban, and this man is like never been out before in his life in Chicago, and I'm walking him into the club with this group of people, and he's having the time of his life, and then I'm making sure that everyone gets home, and I'm going home, and that's it. That's the type of relationships that I was building. And I can't even reach out to those people for help because my Rolodex was stolen. How do you go, myself, from a person with a 10-year plus healthcare career, and there's not a single doctor that I know that I worked with that would speak poorly of me. Not one. I have gone above and beyond in every way possible for these doctors. There is not a single medical doctor that I worked for that would speak anything other than accolades with regards to my work ethic and my experience. And the same for when I joined the workforce in the nightlife. The same exact thing. I never did anyone bogus. I did everyone, well, what do I mean when I say I never did anyone bogus? Some of the girls think that I did them bogus because when men would be fucked up, I would not let them take advantage of the situation. I would get the men sober, get them into a hotel room by themselves or get them in a cab going home to their families. So some of the less ethically and morally sound people in that industry do believe that I was not a team player, but that's not true at all. I always invited more people. Many, many times I offered, when I had clients who had a bankroll to spend, I asked them to go to the strip club. I don't want to go to the strip club. I don't give a fuck about naked women or men. I don't enjoy it. I don't want to be around it. I did that because I know those women need it. I've always been a good person for the up, for the low, for the middle, for everyone involved. Every situation that I have been inserted into, I have done my best to operate from a space of morals, ethics, values, respect. So why am I here? Is that why? Is that saying the good guy finishes last? Is that the truth? Because I dare you to show me one person who's been through what I've been through, who's come out the other side as clean, without a criminal record and without a list of people who want to murder them. I don't have enemies. I do not have enemies. I'll repeat myself. I do not have enemies. There are ways of psychologically turning people against you, and that has happened with me. Like, for instance, if I witness someone doing something but I didn't tell on them, you know who begins applying pressure, as they refer to it, on that person, and then they make me, the fact that I was there and I witnessed it, they make that like a threat that lingers over the person. So a certain amount of resentment is built, not because of anything I've done, but because of the threat of what could have been done by what was witnessed. My name is Heather Gillespie, and I don't deserve to be sitting outside on the sidewalk without shelter. I am praying to God. Let's pray together, God. It's me, Heather, again. I'm praying for assistance. Please help. I have been left outside again. You know that I have experience in every field that exists, that there is no job too large or too small, that if it pays and will help me support my family and my children, and it is not going to harm anyone, that I am willing to learn if I don't know, to engage if I do know. Please help me, God, because I don't deserve this. No one deserves this, but most certainly I do not deserve this. My body is sore. My infant needs his mother. My big kids need their mother. I've already had to miss out on a lot of parenting. I'm very grateful for the communication that I have with my children and that I've had this entire time. Thank you for never letting too much time go by without them knowing how much I love them. Thank you for never letting me miss a holiday or a birthday with them. But I miss the rest of my family, and I haven't been able to have a holiday or birthday with my mom or dad or my extended family since 2020. Please, please bring me back to my children. Please resolve these issues. Please help me reunite with my babies and my family. Please put me back where I belong. Please help us with transportation to visit my son Weston the 3 days a week that I'm permitted to do so. Please help me keep up the mental and physical stamina to continue pumping breast milk so that on those days that I'm there with him in my arms, I can feed him from my body. I know that that is good for him health-wise. Mentally, I know it's good for me. Please. Please fix it. Please let me know what they want to know so that I can tell them when they need to know. Please help me know when to stop telling them, when it's time to be quiet, when it's time to share, when it's time to stop sharing. Please help me be safe out here in this highly vulnerable space. Please protect me from being raped anymore. Please protect me from being harmed, physically stabbed, bludgeoned, or beaten up anymore. Please be with my children while I'm apart from them. Thank you for the church who's allowing me to do all of these services in one of their basements. Thank you for anyone who has helped in the past and the sponsorship we've received in the past. Please bless all of these people's hearts who have helped me and put it in their hearts to continue to do so, to find another safe space for me to live. This is not acceptable. Showers every day, access to my children, a bed. Please help. I'm confused and I'm scared. Please help me with Xavier. I don't know what to do with him. He's refusing to have his tooth pulled even though it's infected. My children, Viviana, Lewis, Alexis, and Weston, are my primary concern. They always have been and they always will be. Please guide me, because I'm so lost. I don't know what they want from me. All I want is to be with my children. I 100% have the capacity to be a good parent. Please put that in their eyes, minds, and hearts as they make their next decisions on how to proceed and how to handle me. Please tell me clearly what they want so that I can give it to them. Amen.